We got to talk about screening this theme music before we do it, Anthony.
It's drunken guys singing in a bar. I don't know. You called the show Three Pints of Pop. I don't know how much more musical you can get for a show called Three Pints of Pop. But hey, listen, we're live. That happened quickly. Welcome to the first episode of Three Pints of Pop.
Can you turn the music off?
I wanted it to keep going. I mean, Three Pints of Pop, what is? And we are live across Facebook and YouTube Nation as we are multi-streaming across multiple platforms today for Three Pints of Pop. I am Anthony Krysiewicz from the Touring Fan Live. To my other side is Bailey Race, coming live from some other part of the Midwest. And then all the way from a country I learned about last night, Dan Mumford. How you doing, guys?
Hanging in there.
Well, we've been doing, Dan, you've been a regular guest for quite a while, and Bailey in his drunken evening said, you know what, it makes sense. Let's just have Dan host the show with us, and let's just start from scratch. X gets the square, gets the X, and we go with 3 Pints of Pop because you know what, I really feel like when you get us together and we start talking about pop culture, I feel like I don't think there's anyone who could talk better about it than us.
Potentially. I would agree.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys can inform me about what the hell Moon Knight's about, because I don't know if I'm as confused as you all are. I haven't watched a new episode yet. Maybe it wraps it all up, but that show has confused the hell out of me. But tonight, before we get into that, tonight's topics, or this afternoon's topics, depending on where you're watching this, is the best and worst movies of 22 so far. Star Wars Day, because we purposely planned today's live stream around Star Wars, and also we're finally going to do what me and Dan Mumford have been waiting to do since December of last year, which is talk about the good Matrix movie that came out on HBO Max in cinemas across the world. And we get to talk about that. So I'm so excited about that. But let's talk.
It's great. It was such a good movie.
Should we just
This is one of the greatest movies.
Should we just dive right into the new Matrix movie? Because I feel like I've been waiting, amped up, to talk about this for so long.
All I know is that the day that it came out, I remember I got a voice message from Dan on Instagram, and he said, "Bloody hell, that was the greatest piece of cinema that I've ever witnessed in my entire life. Better than anything else ever." And let me tell you that I am so glad that I took that audio message to heart, because now I get to completely combat every part of that sentence and talk about how god-awful Matrix Resurrections was.
Well, it's funny because I don't know who you spoke
sorry,
to.
can I just say, none of that is true. None of that.
Not by any leaps and bounds, because I spoke to Dan after I watched it, and I said, "Did you watch it yet?" And you said, "No." And then we spoke, and we both said, "The fuck was that?" It was literally, I felt like it was a scary movie version of The Matrix. They literally were making a mockery of the original Matrix. And as someone who loves The Matrix, and for someone like Dan Mumford, who just recently dropped a print about The Matrix on Gallery 1988, it's highly disappointing that that's what we got. I almost wish you didn't make the movie.
Yeah, I think that would kind of be where I am with it as well. It felt like a film that, firstly, it's been so long. Has it been 20 years or close to 20 years, something like that?
The first one came out in 1999, so 23 years.
Right, and it just felt so maybe the first half an hour of it had potential, and watching it, I remember being like, okay, this is potentially going somewhere interesting. Potentially, this could go in certain ways, but then the minute it became kind of like a normal Matrix movie, it just fell completely flat. It looked wrong. The effects were terrible. The choreography was terrible. And I'm pretty sure that not many of the production side of things returned, if you will. You know, when you got something like Star Wars The Force Awakens, where they very much wanted to be like, it's just like you remember, guys, we've got it feels just like it used to, and then you got something like this where it felt like they didn't care. I don't know. Like they weren't trying to appeal to your memories. They were trying to be clever, and they sort of were clever for the first half an hour, and then just made a shit film where it was just like, I don't know, we got to save Neo, and then and then Trinity, and then that's it, I guess. I don't know.
Trey Bush says say that he wishes Keanu Reeves would stop making movies, period. I would tend to disagree with that because I feel like Keanu Reeves is an American treasure.
I do love Keanu Reeves as well.
I love Keanu Reeves.
Because, let's look at this. Let's look at, so the Matrix Resurrections, we saw how that went, but then we also saw the new Bill and Ted. And the new Bill and Ted was fantastic. And so right there, two sides of the spectrum on Keanu Reeves reprising roles that he was in, like many moons ago. And we're able to see that it's able to be done in a good way. And then we also look at, say, like Spider-Man, No Way Home. And we saw all of the nostalgia that was brought home from, like all the original Raimi movies. And all of that was done in a fantastic way. I still have yet to see the new Ghostbusters, but Anthony says that it was fantastic and it was done in a really good way as well.
It's good. It's very, very, do you know what? In a very similar way that the Spider-Man film touches on that nostalgia, it hits the same sort of thing.
100%. Yes, the new Ghostbusters movie, it was done in a way that it incorporates new fans if you've not seen the franchise before. So like for younger kids who might not be familiar with it, it brings them in, and it does a really good job of incorporating fans that have been around for a long time. Just kind of like we've been talking about with the Spider-Man franchise. It's a smart way of a multiverse of like ages and stuff, and bringing them together to enjoy it. And they did it in a way that was done fairly. With the way that
it's very, very similar to The Force Awakens in that it's a very similar concept to the first film, the new Ghostbusters. Like it, to an extent, it's a repeat of the first Ghostbusters, but I don't care about that stuff. I'm like, yeah, sure, give me the nostalgia. I'm okay with that in a way.
And then speaking of nostalgia, another movie that comes out this week that's supposed to deliver like hit after hit after hit of nostalgia is the new Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness tomorrow. Very excited about that. I watched a spoiler-free review yesterday about it, and they were talking about how it delivered on everything that they wanted and so much more, and that it was also one of the most grotesque and brutal Marvel movies to exist to date, because Sam Raimi said that he was going to be delivering a horror movie in the MCU, and he 100% did just as he said he was going to do. So I'm very, very ecstatic about watching that tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think I'll be the first to see it because I'm going in about 24 hours time. I'm.
Damn it! You will. You get me beat by like. I think 3 hours.
You'll beat Anthony by a few hours, and then I'm not seeing it until about 8 p.m. tomorrow because the first showing sold out because I fell asleep while I was waiting for tickets to go on sale. So I missed out on the first showing, but I was able to get the second one tomorrow.
I'm very much hiding from anything with the words Doctor Strange in it right now because I really like to be surprised by stuff. I think even the trailer where there was a certain voice, that was too much for me. I was like, well, we know that, we all know who that voice is. Like, don't ruin it.
We all know that Dan went on there and did a voiceover when they hovered over his shoulder in the trailer. So we know that British bald head. We recognize that.
I could be a good Professor Xavier. I could.
Good Patrick Stewart. So that's very exciting because I hear that it delivers on like double the amount of what people were hoping for in terms of nostalgic cameos. That's going to be really exciting. But I'm also very excited to see the MCU go into a darker direction after seeing Moon Knight for the last couple of weeks, just being that they haven't really pulled a lot of the punches in terms of Moon Knight as like what Moon Knight is in the comic books, apart from him actually peeling someone's face off in the comics. So it's going to be really interesting to see like that whole thing actually,
So you're telling me you like Moon Knight?
I do. I am enjoying Moon Knight. Yeah.
And you actually
I've not seen any yet.
Oh, it is the biggest.
I've also read the comic books. I've read the comic books, so I understand a little bit more of what's going on. We had the same conversation when Eternals came out, because you hated Eternals with your entire heart, and I went in there with a little bit of a different context. So
Eternals, was terrible. And Moon Knight, it's just I don't understand what's going on. Unless this episode that came out today really wraps everything up in a beautiful bow, and it's like here.
It's the finale today, so
correct. I'll be
That's
watching.
why I haven't watched any yet, because I was just like, you know what, I want to watch this over 2 nights, so I was just waiting for the whole lot to be there. And now it's there. I think I'll probably start tonight, actually.
The biggest problem, though, with Moon Knight, and it's not a problem per se, is that like the episodes are actually really long. Like they're like some are like 46 minutes, some are like an hour and 20. Like they're like almost movies. But there's so much going on and so much not explained. I mean, unless this episode's like 2 hours long.
Is it 6 episodes, right?
8?
7.
7?
8? 7 or 8. 7 or 8, yeah.
Because do you know what I'll say about the Disney Marvel shows is I like that they're as long as they need to be.
Yep.
But they also feel like not overlong. Because I watched all of the Netflix Marvel shows as they came out, and I remember like the first Daredevil, I was like, okay, this is cool, I like it. But it was like 13 episodes long, and it was a bit of a slog. And then Luke Cage, I think. That was also, they were all like 13 episodes long. Some of them, most of them, like an hour long, and they just had so much filler in them, and they just got so tedious. And I just remember being like, "Well, I'm watching it because I'm invested, but just get the fuck on, just get on with it," you know?
Yeah. Get to the point.
The Marvel ones, the new ones, I feel at least, you know, they're between 6 and 8 episodes, and some of them are like half an hour long. And like, that was over quickly.
Like the new Disney Plus series you're talking about.
Yeah. And I really like that as a way to do it. Like the episodes are as long as they need to be. You know, there's no one dictating the length of stuff.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, though. I will say, with all the Disney Plus shows to come out, I do wish that Loki and WandaVision had longer episodes, because I feel like those 2 series were just masterworks. But then Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I could have dealt with having them being a little bit shorter, just because I feel like that show fell really flat from what I was expecting it to be. But then the show that I think that is like, I want more. I want 6 seasons, and I want hour-and-a-half long episodes of each episode is What If. Because let me tell you, the What If season 1, I just rewatched it the other day because it was on an essential watch list for Multiverse of Madness, and let me tell you, it's a perfect show. It is so good.
See, I've only watched a few episodes, and I enjoyed it, but I kind of couldn't be bothered.
Well, Dan, this is why you live in England, so.
Well, I live in America, and I'm in the same boat as Dan Mumford. Like after a while, you're kind of like we're really watching a show about potential what if. Like, what if I was a millionaire? Like, do we want to make a T-shirt show about like what if I had money?
And I get that conceptually it's part of what the multiverse is, but also, you know, like Marvel are pretty good at making these films be not standalone.
Yeah.
But they're not making you have to watch all of the supplementary TV stuff, which I think they're doing quite well. It'll be curious when they decide to say, let's bring Moon Knight into the main films, if they do that.
Well, that's the thing. Moon Knight's not canon. Moon Knight's not canonical to the main MCU universe, is what they were saying. Yeah, they were saying it was completely separate than the main MCU universe.
I don't
so
believe
what the
that.
fuck am I watching?
No, I don't believe that. No,
Hey.
That's bullshit.
Okay, well, also, here's the thing. So in that spoiler-free review that gave that like essential watch list that I just mentioned that What If was on, WandaVision and What If are both on the essential list for them. So it's like, you know, I do think that we're now reaching a point where certain shows are going to be like necessary canonized watching for these new movies.
They're essential if you want to go, oh, look, for that 1 second, that's that guy from that episode of What If where everyone was a duck, you know? That's kind of what
okay.
or at least it's essential to sort of understand the concept of it. I mean, I could see WandaVision being quite important to know what she's been up to and why she's perhaps crazy powerful now, because that is very much her character arc. Is quite big in WandaVision. Yeah.
But here's
And
what
Doctor
worries me
Strange, I guess. Yeah.
with everything happening right now. We have already, so when it comes to comics and the people who are buying into comic book movies, right? The original series that came out were people that were just, an average fan, right? You would say average fan at best is probably 80% of the people going to movies, right? You're going to have diehards about 20% of those. Comic book readers, not as many comic book readers now as there was back in the 80s or even early 90s to going back to the 70s. So now we're leaving Iron Man, we're leaving Captain America, we're the Hulk. I don't know where he fits into this whole thing. Spider-Man, we think we're seeing more movies, but the majority of the popular characters that brought us all to Endgame have left the franchise, and now we're going into more of the obscure characters. Now, Marvel has done a great job of obscure characters when they did Guardians of the Galaxy, because most people went to Guardians of the Galaxy, like myself, not knowing who any of those characters are, but we fell in love with them, and now it's easy to follow along. My question now is, a lot of people complained about DC movies because they were too dark. These characters are too dark. I don't want to learn about them. They're too dark. Most of the consumers going to these movies complained about that. Now we're getting into a franchise series like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, where a lot of those characters are darker. It's being said. I've talked to someone who's seen the movie. He said it's a dark fucking movie. We're going to get into dark.
It's a horror movie.
Now.
Yeah.
100%. Is that going to be the same outcome as the original Batman vs. Superman or the original, Superman movies where they were darker, where people are going to be like, I can't buy into this. And then Marvel's got to take steps back and say, you know what, maybe Moon Knight isn't the answer. Maybe these dark movies aren't the answer, and they have to start going back and digging deep into saying, how can we bring back Iron Man? Because in the grand scheme of things, movies are money, and is this movie going to entail them continuing to make the money they want to make going forward? And that's what worries me, because I just don't know, as an average consumer, are they going to be able to get people interested into the darker product that you, me, and Dan might like, but the average consumer might not.
So,
go on, yeah.
I was just going to say, I think the big reason why people aren't able to connect with the darker characters in DC is because the writing made them incredibly shallow characters. And I think what Marvel does really well in terms of the mainline MCU movies, for the most part, some of the characters, they haven't really done a really good job with it. But for the most part, they do a good job kind of writing in emotional depth and like arcs for the characters. And so I think if you take the writing that Marvel has had in the MCU over the last 14 years, because we did just pass, I think 2 days ago, the first Iron Man movie came out. That started the MCU 14 years ago. And so we just passed the 14th anniversary of the MCU in existence. And so we've seen Marvel has a signature writing style for how they bring their characters to the screen. And that's a big reason as to why, like you were saying, a lot of people fell in love with those like more popular comic book characters all over again, being like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, all of that. And so I think if we have that writing that Marvel brings to the table and we introduce it to a darker atmosphere, like we introduce it to a horror atmosphere, I think you'll see a type of connection that isn't able to happen within DC just because they lack that element. And so I think with the combination of the two, there's going to be a lot more, not just fiscal, but just like, just connection to the audience. There's going to be a lot more success there than DC had with like the original Batman v Superman.
Let's do this. I'm gonna pull up a list.
I was just going to say.
Go ahead.
It's Dan's turn.
I think the thing you got to remember is when the first Iron Man film came out, most people probably went, "Who the hell's Iron Man?"
Right.
Like, he wasn't. He was the weirdest character to pull out and make a film for. In my opinion, it didn't make sense at the time. I think the reason they did it is because they're like, yeah, we can have a guy with guns and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like it was an easy sell. And they did that, and then he became the most popular, potentially, of all the characters. And I think what Marvel's really good at under the sort of captainship of Kevin Feige, whatever his name is. Feige, yeah.
We always have Captain.
Fajili.
Like, under him, they've always managed to... Yeah, all of the films are kind of the same when they're like introducing characters now, but they've always managed to do it really well with characters who I've gone, I don't care about that. I don't want to watch an Ant-Man film, but it was entertaining,
Right.
And once they've done that one film, they then become part of the family, and then you see them in smaller background roles and stuff. So I think in terms of going forward without these main heroes, I think they're going to be okay. And I don't think they're necessarily going to go in a darker route. I think you're going to find them exploring more, which I think is what the Multiverse of Madness is. That's them going, let's give it a go. Let's see if it works. Let's see if there is a place for us to be slightly more adult, if you will. I mean, I think this is still like a not child friendly, but rating wise, you could go if you're like a kid still, right? I guess
PG-13.
There you go. See, you know, like they're still not like pushing out the core audience, and I don't think they ever will.
The MCU Deadpool movie that's about to come out is going to be rated R. It's the first rated R MCU movie.
They say that now, and I'm curious if they stick to that.
If they actually make it R.
Yeah, because they could easily cut that down. You just take a bit of the violence, the bit of the blood out. Just, you know, with stuff like that, it's all about just the way they cut things. Like, you know, a sword goes to the head and it cuts away just before you see it. The blood, there's less blood. He doesn't swear as much, which is easily edited when your guy's got a mask on, you know.
Yeah.
So, because we've seen that so many times where they say, yeah, it's going to be a hard R, and then it comes out and it's like a PG-13 or something, you know, with like Alien versus Predator, stuff like that. Yeah. Where you're like, how is there a PG-13 Alien versus Predator? Anyway.
Well, I will say that the same video that I keep referencing, the spoiler-free review of Doctor Strange and Mom, that same video did say that this movie, the violence level matches about the violence level that was in What If. And at first I was like, oh, that's not horrible. I wonder why they were saying that it's a really brutal movie. And then I remembered that within What If, they literally exploded the Hulk from the inside out, decapitated like 45 people in the zombies episode. And we also saw people just get like constantly shot with arrows, bullets, just like killed left and right. And so I'm just really curious to see, like, are we going to see a genuinely high body count in an MCU movie? Because in the past, the only time that we've ever seen like a fight or a body count, it's been like, as Dan was saying, like it's a fight started, it cuts, we see close-ups, we don't see any of the people actually getting decimated. And then like an elevator door opens, 6 people are laying on the ground and Black Widow walks out. You know, that's the only...
They do the body count by the people dying not being human. That's it. If they're zombies with like purple goo blood, then it's fine.
Purple goo blood.
So,
I'm really interested to see what's going to happen also, because the movie, there was one more movie that was on that essential watch list that I was very, very confused about and surprised to see on there. And they said the most important movie on that watch list, they said, was Infinity War. They said the movie that has the most ramifications and connections to Multiverse of Madness is going to be Infinity War, which is very strange.
Well, the movie is called Doctor Strange.
That makes... I could see it being, because it's probably going to explore different multiverses where he won, or where something happened with different Infinity Stones and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Well, what I'm very curious about, we saw him like check all of those multiverses and timelines at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, is one of those timelines that he checked, did something happen in that universe that pulled him in? And that's one of the variants that we see, is the Doctor Strange from that timeline, which, you know, we don't even know, is the Doctor Strange that we're going to see at the start of the movie going to be like the Earth Prime Strange? Like, is it going to be the same one that we've seen? Because we've seen in the trailers of the movie, we've seen Christine Palmer's wedding. And so are we seeing the wedding of Christine Palmer and Stephen Strange happening? And that's like a separate universe where the two of them stayed together, where he didn't push her away after the accident and everything? Or like, you know, what are we going to see? And so, you know, I watched that video 2 or 3 days ago, and I am still thinking, how is that movie going to be the one that has the most connections to like this new multiversal movie, being that even looking at Infinity War and Endgame is the one that had all the lasting ramifications on the MCU moving forward, you know? And so it's just like, if we're looking at the two of them, why are we choosing the movie that happened before all of the, you know, like Iron Man dying?
But I'd say because Endgame's mainly just them traveling through time to fix things.
True.
In terms of, a few people are dead, but the interesting possibilities are definitely within Infinity War, I would say. That is weird. Yeah.
Well,
I'm curious. Not long to go.
no. I mean, we're literally talking about a movie that most people are going to be able to see within 24 hours. So all answers will be answered in 24 hours. Hey, real quick, this wasn't we're going to talk about, but talking about all these Marvel movies and potential that's coming out, I have a list that I'm going to pull up on the screen, and I'm just going to ask this simple question: are you excited about it? And if you aren't excited about it, who do you think this movie appeals to? And we're going to go through this list pretty quickly because it is interesting. We know that Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness comes out tomorrow. I think we can all agree we're all excited about that, correct?
100%, yeah.
Okay. The next one on June 8th, Miss Marvel. I'll watch it, but I think this appeals more to my 6-year-old daughter than it does me.
TV show, right?
This is a TV show, correct?
Right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll watch it. I have no. The thing is, I am almost positive it'll be well made. It'll make me feel good and it'll make me happy. But I don't know if I care. That's the difference,
It's kind of like, I feel like this is like, like Stargirl on like the DC Stargirl.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoy that, but it is kind of like a feel good kind of like thing. Bailey,
I think it's them sort of starting to make stuff for a slightly younger audience, which is a good thing,
I'm really excited about it. I'm worried just because the only mass media version that we've seen of Miss Marvel was in the it was either Square Enix or Crystal Dynamics, whoever made the Avengers video game, which the video game was not good. The video game was actually pretty awful, but the depiction of Miss Marvel in the game, I actually liked her character, and I really liked the way that she was brought to life. But the issue is the show is canonizing different powers than what she has in the comic books and in the game, and so I'm just like concerned how much they're changing the character.
We
discussed this before, though.
Yeah.
We discussed this before, though. It's definitely because they're going to have Mr. Fantastic and the Fantastic Four.
I do think so, but it's just like, why can't we just have two stretchies? I'm just confused. Like I
bet you they don't have the budget to make it look good for a TV show.
Oh, yes, but also you could literally throw a Stretch Armstrong on the screen and I would be happy. So I just want to know. Anytime
you're doing someone with stretchy powers, it looks awful. I've never seen it done well. The Fantastic, all three of the Fantastic Four films, all four if you include the one from the 90s, have done it very badly. Even the newer one with the higher budget, it still. We
don't talk about that newer one.
But it still just looks rubbish, and I bet you they've not even cracked how to make it look good, and that's possibly why they're not doing it. But,
yeah. Although I'm very curious because we're getting a reboot in the MCU next year. And so I'm just curious as to how they're planning on doing it, because are they going to change Mr. Fantastic? Like, are they going to change his powers as well? Or like what's the plan?
I bet you they're doing a lot of behind the scenes practical effects
I'd be willing
stuff.
to bet that movie does not come out next year.
That too. The director's left recently as well.
Yeah,
so.
Bounced. Just kind of like the guy from Fast and Furious.
Wasn't John Watts?
Yeah, he moved on.
Mm-hmm. All right, now next,
Weird.
Thor: Love and Thunder comes out July 8th. That's a movie release. I'm very excited.
I'm impossibly excited for this, especially since the new teaser came out. It looks like a cheesy 80s like coming of age montage movie featuring Thor, and I am so overly excited about it, especially the fact that we're getting essentially like a Guardians of the Galaxy 2.5 with it as well. Very stoked.
I think that's going to be really good.
And then we get Black Panther Wakanda Forever, November 11, 2022. It's just weird to me because it's not really a Black Panther. I don't know how I feel about it.
I'm nervous.
I think that this movie could be muddled. I really do feel like it could be a muddled movie of them trying to restart a franchise in theory, because they have to, in Black Panther, and I think that they could screw it up. So I don't know.
I think.
Go ahead, Dan.
I was just going to say, I think Wakanda's such a vibrant and interesting place to explore that, they've got within it, they've got the different sort of the different tribes of people, and that was already explored in the first film. But I think there's going to be a lot more going on there, and I think you've got a lot of interesting characters that could potentially become the new Black Panther. Yeah. And obviously that's what this film's going to be about.
Sure.
And, you know it's going to have been made with such care, like considering what happened. Like, I don't think it's going to come out this year. That I will say.
No.
I feel like this is a film that could definitely get bumped till next year because they've kind of got a real heavy end of the year with these films. But it'll be interesting. Hang on. There's a lot riding on it.
Anthony, hang on. I didn't say my piece on that yet. So I think there are ways that they could go about this in a very good and interesting way. Anthony, cut it out. Stop it. So I think what they could do is they could go in an approach where it's not a grand superhero movie. I think they could do just like what Dan was saying in terms of focusing on how vibrant the culture of Wakanda is. And they could focus a lot more on kind of like, and this is going to sound so boring coming from my mouth, but I know that they would have a way to do it right. They could focus on the more like socio-political structure of Wakanda. They could focus on what it's like having the vacuum of both T'Chaka and T'Challa missing from the royal family in Wakanda. If they do write off Chadwick Boseman's King T'Challa off, if they write that he's gone or if he passed or in one way or another, then you lose in a society that is mostly like it is mostly a patriarchy, but they do also have a matriarchy with the queen, and so it is going to become a full matriarchy when we do return to Wakanda. And so then with that power dynamic completely shifting to the queen, we have Shuri, who's a genius, being the new successor in a newly matriarchal society. So we can start focusing on her and how she could be the Black Panther, being that she was the one that developed all of that new tech for King T'Challa to be the Black Panther. And the movie is also meant to be setting up Ironheart. And that Ironheart is going to be our new Iron Man in the MCU moving forward. And so I think they could focus in a way where Riri Williams, who is Ironheart in the comic books, Riri Williams shows up to Wakanda, becomes friends with Shuri, and then Shuri and Riri develop both the new Black Panther and the new Iron Man, being Ironheart, together. And we see that dynamic start to rise with these two young female-led superhero roles that the entire movie just sets up like how this power shift within this country can develop and move forward out into the world.
Yeah. I mean, we talked a little bit about Ironheart before, and it's one of those ones where I still don't think it's going to happen for a long time. Mainly because I think people are going to be like, you've replaced Iron Man with this young girl. What are you doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, yes, it's canon and that is what happens in the comics. I just think it's one of those things where it's like there probably needs to be a few more years pass before they introduce a new Iron Man, if you will.
She's supposed to be introduced in the new Black Panther.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Who knows?
All right, Bailey, calm down. You don't have to jump at us. We're just assuming here. We didn't make the fucking movie.
Yeah. Assuming makes an ass out of you and me. Anyways, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
Kristen, now this is interesting. This was filmed during the making of the most recent Guardians of the Galaxy film that'll be coming out next year at the same time. This was supposed to be the last of the Guardians of the Galaxy series, but the other day, James Gunn hinted at the fact that he would be open to doing a fourth Guardians of the Galaxy film now that he has the access to some characters he didn't do before, now that Disney owns Fox. So it is interesting to see what's going to happen with this. The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special is supposed to be about 35 to 45 minutes long. Have a short story, and it's supposed to be cute and quirky, and it's supposed to be something that's supposed to be a holiday, yearly thing. I'm quite excited about this. This is something that, I think it's going to be cute and fun, kind of like the Star Wars Christmas special that I watch every year.
Oh, one of the greatest Christmas specials to ever exist.
Yeah, this is one of those things where I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. Like I have zero feelings about this. Like there's literally nothing of importance happening in this. It might be fun, but in terms of the things I care about within Marvel films, nothing will happen in this. But that's okay. It's not for me.
What if like Doctor Doom is introduced in this series? Like what if like the last the end credits is like Doctor Doom stepping on Groot?
Then it would be the greatest bait and switch ever. That's what I'd say.
Oh, speaking So speaking of, speaking of new movies, we're getting the first trailer for the second James Cameron Avatar during Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, wait, okay.
Yeah, it's
Finally.
exclusively premiering in the opening credits of, in the opening previews of Multiverse of Madness.
Wow. But it's been 30 years, hasn't it? 40 years? I can't remember how long it's been.
60, actually. But what I'm very confused about is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
I wasn't book one water. Book one was technically air. And in the original Avatar, they focused a lot on flying in the floating islands. And book two is water. And so I think James Cameron is copying Avatar: The Last Airbender here. And the third and fourth movies that we're going to see are like Avatar, Way of the Earth. Or
there was a lot of talk about that when the original Avatar came out, because that's when the TV show was really popular as well.
The manga, yeah.
Yeah.
The anime, not the manga. Yeah.
I thought it was a direct ripoff of Fern Gully. I mean, it literally is almost scene to scene a direct ripoff of the 90s classic Fern Gully. I mean, there's literally trailers out that they put side by side by the original trailer of Avatar, or what's the name? What the fuck's the name of the movie now? I got me calling it Avatar. Is it Avatar? No, what the hell's it called?
The first one's Avatar, yeah.
Okay, is Avatar.
It's just called Avatar.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, but they're side by side.
James Cameron's Avatar.
James Cameron. Now, I will tell you this. I was in Disney World 2 weeks ago, and I went to Avatar Land, and it was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I rode the ride. I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I was wrong about the original movie. Let me watch it. And I watched it, and it brought back feelings of how much I originally hated it when it first came out, and how little excitement I have for when this new one comes out.
Okay.
Well, I can tell you right now, Dan and I have another reason to hate this movie as poster designers, because whoever did all of the original artwork and marketing for this movie decided to use papyrus as the marketing font.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because it's futuristic and yet ancient, but still, it was a bad decision.
Well, the new logo is slightly better. Slightly.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this. One of the topics we're supposed to be talking about today is the movies that have come out this year and the best and worst this year. So what I'm going to pull up on a list is the domestic box office gross for the top 20 movies so far to see where things are.
Okay.
We can talk about those. And we can say, have we seen them and what our opinion is? Is it on our list? And then we'll get to our list. So number 20 on the list is Moonfall, which was that movie about the moon falling.
I watched that.
I haven't seen it yet. I do want to watch it, though. I do want to.
It's terrible. 10 out of 10.
Awesome.
No. Do you know what? It's really bad, and not really in a good way either. It's genuinely quite a bad film.
Aren't the effects supposed to be really good?
No. There's a lot of very bad green screening. No.
Okay.
So I would. You can now watch it with even lower expectations.
Okay.
So are we saying 2 thumbs down, 1.5? What are we thinking?
I would give it.
I don't have an opinion yet.
I'd give it half of 1 thumb.
Nice.
All right. So Dan is the king from Gladiator. Anthony, do you have any frame of reference for this?
No, I haven't seen it yet. No, but with a half a thumb.
Okay, word.
I mean, that's half of
I've watched that, but I haven't watched Moon Knight. What's wrong with me?
Not much, because I saw.
Okay, number 19
is The Kingsman. Has anyone?
I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it.
I put it on 4 times and fell asleep every time.
I give what Dan said. I do think the Kingsman franchise is one of my favorite movie franchises, but I think because the first and second were so just like astoundingly wonderful. I think that it just set like a really
Time out. You say every fucking movie franchise we talk about this. I'm gonna do it a direct. oh, this is my favorite movie franchise of all time. I love it. I have such a deep intellect and knowledge of this franchise. Let me talk about it. Oh, The Kingsman, it's my favorite franchise of all time. Oh, Moon Knight.
I like movies!
But you can't say everything's your fucking favorite. It's like saying everyone's your favorite.
I don't! I didn't like The Matrix! Oh my god! Holy shit!
We need to go offline for a second.
Throw up the technical difficulties flag, please, because we need to have a conversation.
I think the first Kingsman film was very good and a good adaptation of quite a good comic. I thought the second film lost it a bit, and I think this one is equal. It's not quite as fun. It's not quite as fun as it needed to be, but it was still okay.
I think it was a good origin story, and I also I think the one scene in the trenches where all of the lights come on and they have that full 360-degree shot.
Very good.
That scene, absolutely gorgeous, and like
Do you know
that,
what?
like
There's a problem with the film that cannot be talked about without completely spoiling it. But essentially, at about an hour and 20 minutes, in some of the World War I scenes, the plot kind of stops and starts again. Okay, like it doesn't have a good through line. It is sort of, instead of going Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, it's sort of like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 1, Act 2. I can't really explain it, but it does some odd things with characters there, which I wouldn't have done in a film that's only 2 hours long.
right.
And from a sort of narrative point of view, I think it was slightly broken, but not a bad film.
No, cinematography-wise, I mean, those movies have always been really inventive, being the way that they use the camera to follow like different combat scenes. And I think a big reason why I do really love those movies is their use of cinematography and their use of music in particular. Like those two connections to it, I think, are a big reason why I really like them. And they did not lose that in the origin story, but I definitely do think narrative-wise, it could have been way better.
Okay. The next movie on the list is Ambulance. Now, I have seen this movie. This was that high-budgeted action movie about a heist gone wrong. And
Mr. Bay, isn't it?
Yeah, Michael Bay. And it's very much a Michael Bay movie. The way that it's filmed, the way it feels. It's you got to go in it with low expectations and just go in there with like a fun, action-filled movie, and that's what it is. It's kind of like, You done?
You okay there?
Why did you stop talking? I don't know what you guys are. Anthony, let's continue.
Mike, so
that can be fixed in post.
This is like a 1.5 for me. This was I enjoy it, but it's not a perfect movie by any means.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. It came out here like 2 days ago, so I haven't had a chance.
Yeah, Ambi Los Angeles Ants. It looks like a really good movie. So
yeah. The next movie on the list is Jujutsu Kaisen 0, the movie.
I did not watch it.
Do we even know what that is?
I do not know what that film is.
Hold on.
I don't know what Marry Me is either.
Well, I'd liked Marry Me. Marry Me was a fun little rom-com.
I did. I watched it. We'll talk about. Don't jump the gun yet, though. We got to look and find out what the hell this is.
Sorry.
It's an anime, isn't it?
Oh, a high schooler who gains control of a extremely powerful cursed spirit and gets enrolled in the Tokyo Prefectural Jiu-Jitsu High School by Jiu-Jitsu sorcerer to help him control his power and keep an eye on him. All right, this sounds interesting. I'm intrigued.
Of course.
I'm very intrigued.
So, okay. Next was Marry Me.
Marry Me. All right. Me and my wife saw this opening day, and I like Owen Wilson. Okay, this is about Jennifer Lopez as a singer, pop singer.
You went to cinema for this?
Oh yeah.
I didn't. It came out on HBO Max at the same time, so
it was Paramount Plus, and Jennifer Lopez is about to get married, and she's on this tour with her future fiance or her current fiance to get married. Come to find out, her fiance, who's also a singer, is using her, and then cheats on her. She finds out. So then as she's on stage, Owen Wilson, who's handily holding a sign that says "Marry Me," that her daughter made, sees it and says, "I do and will marry you." Owen Wilson seems confused. They get married. They fall in love. It's a quirky romantic film, and when it's over and done with, you're like, "Wow, that movie was terrible," but it made me feel good.
Okay.
Yeah, and it just, Dan, to give you an idea, like Owen Wilson's in the crowd, and Jennifer Lopez is like, "I will choose one of you to marry me," and then points to Owen Wilson and he goes, "Me? Wow!" and then
Hold on,
pulls
hold
him up on stage.
Bailey,
What?
Why don't we've both seen this one. Why don't we reenact it? Why don't you be Jennifer Lopez and I'll hold a sign? Here.
I'm the one that can do the Owen Wilson impression, so why am I being Jennifer Lopez?
Because I have something I can hold up as a sign. Hold on, I'm gonna hold this like a sign.
Oh.
Shameless plug for Dan Mumford.
Nice.
So here, so you pretend go ahead, you be Jennifer Lopez, I'll be Owen Wilson.
I will choose one of you to marry me. You're holding a sign that
Me?
someone made that didn't tell you that they were making, even though they talked to you that soon before the show. Wow. Do you want to marry me?
Well, of course I do. But I don't because I'm going through issues myself. All right, that's the movie.
Captivating. I can't wait to watch it. Hey,
Definitely
nice frame up as well on the poster.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Notice how he doesn't have a single one of mine behind him, but he has two of yours.
I mean, it's appropriate, yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And I have 4 of them in that room hung up, and I just ordered 2 more that are on the way. All right, so next, The Northman. This I have not seen, but after talking to my friend this morning about it, he said it is beautifully shot. It is the most ridiculous movie he's ever seen in his life, and it is so much fun.
Very much looking forward to watching that.
Bailey?
Which one?
Are you fucking kidding me? We've only been talking about The Northman.
Are we keeping you?
The Northman? I haven't seen it yet.
Jesus. All right, now we're gonna skip the next one because this one I think we're all gonna talk a little bit in depth about, and that is Everything Everywhere All at Once because I literally just saw that 2 days ago.
One of my favorite movies. One of my favorite movies.
You haven't seen it, Dan?
No, it's not out here yet.
You need to see it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Bailey,
no, it's on my list.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get back to that. The Bad Guys, which is the new cartoon film that I've heard a lot of things about. Has anyone seen that?
It's not out yet.
No,
Yeah,
that just came out here as well.
Came out 2 weeks ago.
Anthony, I think that comes out next month.
No, The Bad Guys came out 2 weeks ago. Let's double check it. And it came out on April 22nd. I was correct.
Oh.
And it's made $23
I haven't
million
seen it
so
yet.
far. It's supposed to be really
I am
good.
looking forward to seeing it.
All right, Death on the Nile. I have not seen this yet, but I plan on watching it
It
this
was
evening.
fine. Murder on the
I
Orient
watched
Express was much better, in my opinion.
Do you know what? It's a tough one because it's so fake looking. Like everything about it.
Like the effects were just not done well.
No, it sort of works in a really hyper stylized way, but like they've pumped up the saturation on everything so much. So it's like a pyramid with a pink to orange sky that just looks so fake, and then like a Kenneth Branagh on a green screen in front of it. But in terms of like a nice little mystery, it's
okay.
It's there.
Yeah, but Dan, contextualize it up against Murder on the Orient Express, though. Do you think they definitely lost quality? Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. No, that first one I thought was a pretty good,
like whodunit.
Yeah. And like I don't know if it's the same over there, but Poirot has been adapted into like 60 for TV films that have been on over here.
So he hasn't. No.
Has that made it over there?
No. So the first that most people that I know heard of him, like I've known like of that character for a long while. But just the first that a lot of people here in the States that I know at least have heard of him was through Murder on the Orient Express. And then when they announced Death on the Nile, they were like, "Oh my God, it's a sequel to that new character." And I was like, "Excuse me?"
There's so many stories, and it was very, very popular over here. And I think the actor, he did his last one with it. I want to say like 10 years ago. So there was this little grace period before Kenneth Branagh started adapting them. But it's quite a tough one for him to go up against in the UK. So I think most people in the UK would see that film and be like, "What the hell are they trying to do?" But if you care about that sort of stuff, people, there are very good adaptations of all of the stories of Poirot, and there's lots of them, like 60 or so.
Do you know what I'm very upset about? No, what I'm upset about is the fact that they canceled the third Sherlock Holmes movie, and I would much rather get the third Sherlock Holmes movie that was like the story was already written and greenlit, and then it was completely canned and shelved. I would have preferred to see that because I loved the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes. Like
They
those
had a
two
lot of
movies,
style, yeah.
I really loved them. And the third one was supposed to like focus a lot on. It was supposed to focus a lot on. Was it Jude Law? Is he who plays Watson in those movies?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yeah, so it was supposed to focus on Jude Law and like how like what he's been doing since Sherlock died, and then Sherlock was going to be reintroduced, and Moriarty was also going to like resurface on the other side of the world or something, and they were supposed to go to America and like go to New York and all of that. So I was looking forward to that.
I think those films really struggled with the popularity of the BBC version with Benedict Cumberbatch because like they were sort of becoming popular at the same time, and it always felt a bit like the films were very much like, oh, it's an Americanized version of it, but actually,
although what is
they were quite good.
Yeah, what is exciting though is that there is, and Dan, I'm so sorry about this, there's a direct to HBO Max limited series being developed that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be a part of, both as Sherlock and as an executive producer. And so I'm really looking forward to that.
Continuing on from that.
I don't know if it's continuing or if it's just going to be in the same universe. All I know is that what I read, he's going to be involved and he's going to be Sherlock. So
I will just say, we do eventually sometimes get the stuff from HBO Max. It's just not at the same time.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Peacemaker's finally out on TV over here.
Oh, so good.
Finally
what do you think of it?
I haven't started yet. It was only recent.
Okay.
But,
watch that over Moon Knight. You don't even bother Moon Knight. Go to freaking.
They're
Peacemaker.
both equally good for their own reasons.
No. Peacemaker.
Okay.
All right, next, Jackass Forever. Love this movie. Nostalgia was hit.
I did enjoy it.
It was good. I smiled. I chuckled. I did a little cringe. It was good. 2 thumbs up for me. I would say see it.
I did enjoy it.
It's on my list. Haven't got to it yet, but I do love Jackass. So.
It was my first Jackass movie. I've never seen a Jackass movie before, so I did enjoy it. Yeah.
You've got. You should go back and watch them. Yeah,
I will. I plan on it. Yeah.
Go all the way back and watch the TV shows because it's fun, man. They are.
I do plan on getting around to it.
The next on this list is Dog. That was the Channing Tatum movie about him. His friend passes away that he was in the military with. The dog is to be brought across the country to the funeral. It brings the truth about how military dogs are used and how they're euthanized when they come back over to America. And it's him falling in love with the dog and him really kind of fiction struggles. It's a cute movie. I have a German Shepherd, so it kind of pulled in heartstrings. I enjoyed it. My kid enjoyed it. It's like 1.5 thumbs. If you have family and you want a good feel-good movie, you could watch it.
As someone who got a dog last year, it's on our list to watch as well. Like me and my partner, she was like, "We're going to watch the film with Channing Tatum." And
it's good.
Yeah. Also, Anthony, just a question. There were movies that have been direct to streaming this year that have been both fantastic and horrible that we're not going to touch on if we only talk about the box office list.
Well, if you keep talking about how every
so are we going to branch out?
Favorite, yeah, we're going to try to. Just
holy shit. Okay, let's go to the next movie then. Huh? What is that? Yeah. Scream?
Morbius.
We can skip Morbius. I didn't see it.
I didn't hate it as much as everyone else hated it. I took it for what it was. It was a decent movie. A 1 thumb. Fantastic Beasts.
I think.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I haven't seen it yet. I think I can totally imagine what it is, and I reckon it'll be totally fine. That's my guess.
Exactly, totally fine. I will say this one thing about it. I think they did the graphics really well in this, compared to what it could have been. So, Fantastic Beasts. I know, Bailey, you've seen this. I have no urge to see this.
Me neither.
It was it narratively was not good. Effects wise was great, and it was really cool because we did get to see Hogwarts back in like the 30s, 40s, and so that was kind of cool to see. Just being that there were like kind of slight differences as to what it looked like now in the modern age, or like in the 90s when the original Harry Potter took place.
Did Harry Potter mean a lot to you when you were younger?
No, actually, it didn't. Okay. I didn't get super into Harry Potter until I was in like high school.
So like 2 days ago.
I didn't read the books when I was younger either. I kind of went into Harry Potter directly in the movies, and then I read the books after the fact. But I've always been like, ever since seeing them, I've been a fan of the movie franchise, and I've been a fan of how they've handled it. And I do a big reason as to why I love the movies is because of the effects, because they just do such a good job with the visual effects and like all the magic and sorceries and everything. Yeah. And so in that context, I did really appreciate the Fantastic Beasts movies because they kind of took those VFX for the magic and just kind of amped all of that up to 12. But narratively, I think they were really lacking.
Okay.
I feel like this franchise has one more film, because it's not doing that well in terms of numbers over here either, I don't think.
No.
And you got the whole J.K. Rowling thing going against it. You got people sort of moving away from it. The fact that it's not Harry Potter, it's prequel stuff.
Yeah.
That never does quite as well either. So I think... Oh, and also Johnny Depp, all that stuff. Like, it really had... It took a beating in terms of things going against it, which sucks because, you know, it's a well-made film with a interesting story and world to explore. But, you know, I don't think people want it anymore. And I think they're going to have one more film to wrap it up. And I think that's probably where they're at right now, sort of going, we've got one, we can do one more maybe, you know?
I love how he's pushing his face off to the side of the screen like we can't fucking see him, that he's on a phone call. Like, this guy's dropping shit everywhere, picks up calls. He's like, oh, you know what? It's okay. This is not important. What's important is this call on the phone. Whatever. That's fine. I see how it is.
Also, all of a sudden...
It was the house that I want in Nashville, okay? Give me 2 seconds to handle my shit.
The sound quality was amazing for a second there as well. But, oh no.
God, we also didn't have to hear about, like, you know, now that Dumbledore movie is fucking favorite franchise. Anyway, going on to Scream. Scream was a good movie. I enjoyed it. Slash kill. It was good.
I really liked that.
Yeah, it was good. Good stuff. So I give that.
I loved how meta. I liked how meta it was. Like, I really enjoyed the fact that they were like, we have this new franchise called Stab within the Scream universe. I really loved that.
I do have one thing I really hated about it, and that's the fact they didn't call it Scream 5. It's Scream 5. You can't call a film that is narratively exactly part of the same timeline Scream again. It's the same problem with Halloween. You can't.
I'm mad that they didn't put number really 5. Confusing. I'm mad they didn't put number 5 and then
it's 5
CREAM.
Cream.
Yeah, it's 5 Cream, baby.
It's 5 Cream, and Scream 4 was Scream. You know, that's how you do it, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Next.
Sing 2. My kids saw it. They loved it. So
I haven't seen it yet, but I do want to watch it because I liked the first one.
The Lost City is 2020 gold. It is fucking hilarious.
I haven't seen it yet, right? But yeah.
Yes.
That's just come out here.
Sandra Bullock and Jason. And that,
Sandy B.
Good old Channing Tatum back at it again with a Brad Pitt cameo. Definitely.
Yeah, like cool. That is a cast where I was like, that will be funny. I will enjoy it. I have no doubt. Yeah.
My wife dragged me to it, and I was so glad she did. I laughed my ass off. Uncharted is next. Uncharted.
I liked it. I really liked it for a pretty true to video game adaptation in terms of the action sequences and like the writing in it. I do think the story was a bit lacking, but I do really appreciate how much they made it feel like it took place within like a really similar kind of atmosphere and world as the video games. Like nothing was really changed to make it a movie adaptation. They had all of the over the top, like they made everything feel like it was Uncharted. But the story that they included in it did feel a little hokey. I mean, like, granted, the original Uncharted games, like, for context, I loved them. Like, I'm a huge fan of the Uncharted games, but the story was never really like the greatest. It was always just a really good like adventure treasure hunting game.
Very fun.
I think that having that and playing the games, knowing that the story was never like super good, even then, I don't think it met my expectations for writing and for the story in the movie. But in terms of how true to the series it felt, I would give it 1.75 thumbs.
I
haven't seen it, but I'm looking forward to watching it.
1 thumb for me. All right, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was phenomenal. Loved it. 2 thumbs up for me. I
haven't seen it yet, but I heard it's great.
Just came out, yeah. I think you guys are getting a lot of these. You guys are getting most of these films like a good few weeks before us at the moment, actually.
Oh yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 premiered like a month and a half ago here.
Yeah, it's quite unusual because for a while we were getting them like 2 days before America, but at the moment, all of these films they've only just come out.
Well, now you can get back at us by texting us the entire plot of Multiverse of Madness before
that's true.
it. So.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man
we all
that
loved
came out
Spider-Man,
last year, but it is gross this year. And then Batman. Best movie of 2022 so far. It was phenomenal. Rob Pattinson did it right on the money. I couldn't believe it. The way that this movie was done, where it is the most on-screen Batman of any movie. It is a detective series at heart. There's so much to it I could talk about. That's a whole nother show. But this movie was better than I expected. I left wanting more. And I loved it. I can't wait to see what this franchise brings.
Yeah, and I even like the little extra scene they put online as well in the prison
with Barry Keoghan.
Yeah, so funny that you have this film that's such a big film, 3 hours long, and they cut that out as well. I understand why they cut it out. I think maybe they could have somehow put that in at the end. That could. I mean, they kind of did, didn't they? But it was pretty mad that was cut out actually.
I don't think that it's the best movie of 2022 by this year. Best movie of 2022 so far, because I definitely think that I would put Everything Everywhere above it, just because of how much I really enjoyed that movie. And then there was also a direct-to-streaming movie that I loved a lot more than Batman. But I did see the Batman twice in one weekend in theaters, once in regular Dolby and then the other in IMAX. And I definitely do think that I liked it more in IMAX, just because there's a lot more of an immersive experience.
That is a film that you can feel so loud.
Yeah. So, and I did really love the fact that they took the Riddler, who's traditionally a very weird and just kind of funny character, and they made him into a full-blown serial killer. They did that in such a great way that I think even just based off of the writing for the Riddler and how he was worked into the movie. And then also, who was it? Colin Farrell as the Penguin. I don't even know where to start talking about that, but just what a phenomenal actor. Absolutely phenomenal. But I definitely, I would give that 2 thumbs up. I would, but I wouldn't give it the best movie of the year.
Okay. So what is that then?
Everything Everywhere All at Once, I would say.
Oh no, I meant the streaming one. What's the streaming one?
Oh, I think it's called The Bubble. Yeah, the direct to Netflix movie about the movie filmed in the COVID bubble. I fucking loved it. I watched it twice within the first 2 days of it coming out. I loved it. But that's also because I'm in my mid-20s, and a lot of that humor does pander to people my age, and just people that are in kind of the age of a lot more of that social media, kind of TikTok comedy, all of that. So I definitely do think it spoke to people my age a lot more. But I did that movie had me laughing in tears a few times.
It was okay. I thought it was okay. I can't say I feel that strongly about it, but
I'm in the same boat as you.
I really loved it.
Yeah.
I did really love it, but a streaming movie that came out that I wasn't a fan of, it had its moments, but I came out of it I never want to watch that again, is The Adam Project, that time traveling movie with Ryan Reynolds.
It was okay. Do you know what? It had some very, very poor CGI to de-age some of the characters in that, which just really takes you out of it.
Yeah, the kid that played Ryan Reynolds, though,
he was good.
Phenomenal performance. He got cast. I can't remember what he got cast for, but he got cast for a really big role coming up. I can't remember what it was, but
it is something. You're right. It is a really big role, and I was good because he was really good in that film.
Yeah, Walker Scobell. He got. Let's look at his IMDb and see what it says. He's playing Percy Jackson in the Percy Jackson reboot.
Oh,
okay.
That's what he got cast for. Yeah, which I'm very excited about because the Percy Jackson movies
fucking
were not great.
Let's say it's his favorite.
It's his favorite franchise.
They were not great. I did like Dylan O'Brien in them. I feel like he did a good job as Percy, but him as Walter Scobell, the dude who played young Ryan Reynolds, I feel like him as Percy Jackson is just going to be a fantastic performance. I feel like it has definitely new favorite franchise potential.
So let Jesus Christ. I'm fucking over this. Favorite franchise. God damn it. So Dan, what are your favorite movies of 2022 so far? Then.
Do you know? I think we just talked about it. I think the Batman probably.
Yep.
Like in terms of, because I don't get to go to the cinema that much, and that's one where I did make the effort to go to the cinema. And now I think about it, that is like, was June this year or was that last year? I think that was last year, wasn't it?
Which movie?
Dune.
Oh, Dune.
That was last year.
Dune.
I thought you said June, and I was like, Dan, it's May.
Well, June. Yeah, it is June. That's how you say it. June. June. June.
Anyway, have you ever heard the Beatles song "Hey Dune"? I mean, come on now.
Anyway, I think I would say the Batman, just because it, like, in terms of he's probably like my favorite comic book character, and I was quite surprised at how much I liked that film. I didn't care until it came out, and then I was like, hey, you know what, this looks kind of good. And then it really was good. So I think I'd just go with that for now. Yeah, that and Moonfall, great film. Definitely go see Moonfall.
And I will say, have you guys seen? I'm looking at the list of movies that went direct to streaming right now. Did either of you guys see Metal Lords yet?
No,
I haven't. It's on my list.
Very, very entertaining movie. I actually liked it a lot more than I expected I would. Because I went into it thinking that it was just going to be like kind of a very, I don't know, just another one of those like, quirky high school, like, we're different than everyone else movies. But it was actually really good. I really enjoyed it. And then also Kimmy. Have either of you guys seen Kimmy?
Nope. No, what's Kimmy?
So it was this movie.
Wait, is it
Zoe
Kravitz?
Yes. Yeah.
I know
about the girl who essentially works for like a Google type company that has to go through and like she combs through audio and video recordings from essentially Google Home and sends them in for like error reports, and she finds a crime that was in one of them and like falls down like the whole of the crime. I really enjoyed it. It definitely wasn't the best, but it was enjoyable. And then also Moonshot. Either of you guys seen Moonshot yet?
No.
Nope.
It's a rom-com.
It's a rom-com.
It's let me shoot straight. It's a rom-com. But it's really good. It stars one of the Sprouse twins, Dylan or Cole Sprouse. It stars Cole Sprouse from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. But it's about this guy that sneaks onto a shuttle going to Mars. Yeah, going to Mars. Yeah, no. It's weird. It's called Moonshot. Yeah, it's called Moonshot. It's a misnomer. It's called Moonshot, but they go to Mars, and they fall in love, even though they're completely contrasting personalities, and they hate each other. Oh my god, it's a rom-com formula that has never been used before, and absolutely phenomenal. As well as the new animated movie Turning Red that came out on Disney+.
That's a good film. That's a very good
Very
film.
good. I enjoyed that a lot. And then I think there was one more that I wanted to bring up that was released this year straight to streaming, was Deep Water.
Is that the Ben Stiller one? Not Ben Stiller, Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, not Ben Stiller, yeah. Ben Affleck and I think it's Ana de Armas. The thriller about the married couple.
Right, I've not seen it, but I know about it, yeah.
Yeah, the story was like not great, but it was a very, very tense thriller. And for that, I really appreciated it, just because a thriller is really good if it's able to make you kind of like sit in your seat, kind of really unsure what's going to happen, but still wanting the story to continue like forward. So
yeah,
that was really enjoyable.
I was just looking at a list of films that like for 22, and have you guys heard of that film called The 355?
No,
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Right, so
that's
it's like a team of all-female operatives
Yeah.
doing missions or something. I don't know. I've not seen it, but it's a good cast. Like Jessica Chastain, Penelope Cruz, Diane Kruger, Fan Bingbing. Like there's loads of people in it, and but I was watching something the other day, and they were talking about how Fan Bingbing could not do her scenes, so whenever she's in a scene, she's green screened. Okay, and she's like a main character. So,
Wild.
So I think you have these scenes, and I saw some of it, and you have these scenes where she's like standing there like this, just in front of a green screen, and then it switches to the other people, and they're in the actual place, and it looks phenomenally bad for what is quite a high budget film.
Movie.
Yeah. So I can't wait to watch that and see how bad it is. So that's definitely on my list. I have a massive list of films to watch. I just don't ever have
A
time.
movie that also came out this year is
What up?
Studio 666.
What?
No one's talked about
Tony?
that, and as for someone that loves old horror movies, this was definitely a really cool throwback to the slasher movies. So Studio 666 was a great, fun, over-the-top slasher movie that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Oh, the timing though! I can't bring myself to watch it right now.
Yeah, it is. I watched it.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, like I think it came up on my sort of streaming thing the day he passed away, and I was like, oh, I will watch that at some point. Is it good though? Like,
it's real. It's fun. If you like old horror slasher movies, this movie's for you. It's like, it reminds me of like Evil. It's like Evil Dead.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Evil Dead references in it too. Yeah, it's fun. It's a good movie. I would highly recommend watching it.
Yeah.
And then another movie no one's talked about, that it's two movies no one's talked about that are kind of, one is called The Exorcism of God, and that was a direct-to-streaming. It's a horror movie. It's about a priest that does botches an exorcism, and it's actually a really fun kind of silly horror movie. I like it. And then
I've not heard of that. No.
Yeah, and then the other one that I really liked was X, which was so fucking crazy.
Is that an A24 movie?
I'd like to see that film.
Yeah. So it's about this. It takes place in the 70s, I believe, and it's about a film production crew that's filming an adult film on this property. And the guy's like, "Hey, my wife's got some crazy things happening with her. Don't come out at nighttime." And the next thing you know, those crazy ass
sounded like Borat there for a second.
It did not. That was a redneck impression. Don't you come on out.
Hey, my wife, she's got the crazy things.
That sounds like Mario. That doesn't sound like
Borat. So, Dan...
You're right. It sounded just like Chris Pratt.
Dan, give us your Borat impression so that way we can hear you on there.
I will not do a Borat impression. I will not bring myself that low. But we can all agree that we're very excited to see what Chris Pratt does with Mario, aren't we? I think he's going to do a wonderful job.
Speaking of a Chris in an animated movie, though, Chris Evans in the new Buzz Lightyear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness! I am so excited for that movie.
Yeah, I guess I could. Yeah, it's funny. I think me and Anthony it always seems like you're really excited, and we're both just like, I don't know, I couldn't care less.
Give shit. Right.
Maybe that's an age thing. Maybe I don't know, because I don't care about those characters really, or anything to do with it. It looks fine.
Yeah. And
if I went to Disneyland and Buzz Lightyear came up to me, I'd say, "Hey, how you doing?" But that's probably, I wouldn't take a photo with him.
Okay.
I was in Disney World 2 weeks ago, and I did not take a photo with him.
You actively ignored him, didn't you? You walked away.
I totally. I said, Andy's coming. Flipped him off and ran.
But hey, yeah, maybe Buzz Lightyear or Lightyear. What's it called? Lightyear.
Lightyear. It's just called Lightyear. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll look pretty. I'll watch it when it's on Disney Plus.
There you go. I'm in the same boat as you. I'm not spending money on that.
I'm spending money the minute I can.
Of course you would. It's your favorite franchise of all time.
I'm so excited for that movie.
To other movies and greatness. So yeah, that's it. The worst movie that came out this year that I have seen that drives me batty was a remake, and it was called Cheaper by the Dozen, and it was it was on Disney Plus, and it was fucking horrible. I watched it with my kids, and I wanted to.
They remade Cheaper by the Dozen?
They remade
That's so
Cheaper by the
weird.
Dozen. It is horrible. It is like, I don't know. It's just uncomfortably unbearable to watch. Fucking terrible.
Why would they remake that? Look, so I was just going to say, if we're calling a film the worst of the year, even though technically it came out 3 days before 22, a week before 22, I'm giving it to The Matrix. For me, that's the worst film of this year because I saw it just after. I saw it in the start of this year, so for me, that's the worst film of this year. Officially, for me.
It's tough. I mean, I'll tell you, Cheap by the Dozen, this remake is god awful. I mean,
I don't consider that a film, though.
Yeah, all right, I'll give it to you. And if that's the case, then, yeah, all right.
Do you know what I mean?
All right, but then, you know what?
Cheaper by the Dozen on streaming, that's not a film. That's pure money. No artistic talent in that at all.
Then I back Dan Mumford in saying worst movie of 2022 so far is The Matrix. Bailey, what is your worst movie of 2022 so far?
I would have to give it to The Matrix as well. I'm looking at. I haven't seen any movie that I've immediately been like this was god awful so far yet this year. So it's tough. I feel like we've had a pretty decent release year so far with movies. There wasn't really any.
The Matrix actively annoyed me.
Yeah,
and that's quite hard for a film to do. For me to go, this is not good.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm trying to see. I guess if I had to pick one of the movies that I've seen that was the one that I enjoyed the least would have to be Death on the Nile.
But more
just because,
Matrix?
I mean, no. In terms of released in 2022, not taking in the hokey logic that we're including The Matrix in 2022. But yeah, I mean, I've had a pretty good year with movies so far to the point where none of them really jumped out as god awful. I don't know. I've had a lot of movies that I've really enjoyed.
But
I'm really excited about the new Nick Cage movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I am very excited to see that.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck both of you.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna not talk anymore.
Well, listen, we have
Nick Cage. Nick Cage is my favorite franchise.
That's fair. I agree with that.
Oh, good. I'll give you that. Okay. So I would say that we've run down everything. It is Star Wars Day, but we've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes, and I feel like we've definitely.
I'll usher us in for a quick conversation about Star Wars.
You can't have a quick conversation about Star Wars.
Oh my god.
True.
But do you know what
Anthony? And when you edit that, can you put in the actual Mandalorian thing there instead of the?
Wait! Make that noise again. Let's see who comes. Go ahead.
Aww. Why?
Who is that?
Why you gotta do that, man?
Wait.
That was young Bailey Race for his high school senior pictures I found online.
Oh my god. That only just clicked as you took that off. Hey man, we've all got photos.
But
I wish I didn't have that one.
He looks like a cool guy that I want to hang out with, okay?
I don't want to. You can spend all the time in the world with him if you want to, because in my eyes he is dead. So anyways.
For the next episode, I'll find a photo of me from 20 years ago. That'll be good.
That wasn't even 20 years ago. That was 7.
That was 2 days ago.
That makes it more... That does make it slightly more embarrassing, but I have some... I definitely didn't look like this, so...
Well, I think we both can agree that we both had hair at some point in our lives.
Yeah, I had long hair. Like, it sort of swooped down.
I tried growing my hair out long when I was losing it, because I thought, that would save it. and it was a terrible, terrible idea.
I've never seen Bailey with a hat off, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Look right.
I wear hats a lot.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't look right.
No.
The VFX look bad.
Do you know what though? You should, while you have hair, enjoy it, man.
Yeah, brush it every day.
When I originally, a year ago, when I moved to Minneapolis, my hair was to my shoulders.
Yeah. Take it out for a walk. Get in the sun. You know,
play with it. Brush it. I mean, I miss that. I miss
it is fun. Yeah, yeah, but now that you shave your head, it's so liberating, isn't it?
It is.
You just don't care now.
Don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I have like moved
what
over
you
to
do,
like I do like put like cream in my beard. I put a little eye product under my eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do take care of myself, but I do miss I miss the hair.
Gotta take care.
Gotta take care.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Self-care is the
this
way.
This isn't a beauty podcast, so you know.
No, 100%. So moving along across other things. So I think with it being Star Wars Day, I say we just make it simple. What is your favorite Star Wars movie and character of all time? And we'll leave it at that. And we'll start with Bailey Race.
The Clone Wars animated series. And I would say Captain Rex. No, but it is one of the most. It is one of the most treasured piece of Star Wars media.
No, tell you what. You can have the Clone Wars film. How about that? You can have episode 2 because that's got clone in the title, so you can have that one instead.
What do you mean the Clone Wars film?
What's the second one called? After the Phantom Menace.
The third is Attack of the Clones, I think, isn't it?
No. The second one isn't episode 2 Attack of the Clones.
I can never remember the name of the episodes, and I'm a horrible Star Wars fan. Because
anyway, you can have that one. It's a terrible film, but you can have that one as your favorite. I can't. It's too low resolution for me to see what you're doing. I don't know what's happening.
It's a Star Wars tattoo, Dan.
Oh right, yeah. I don't know about you guys, but on my end, you guys are just pixels.
Really? No,
on my end, you guys are pixels too.
Yeah.
Oh, I see you guys in 4K resolution. You guys
enjoy.
Look great.
Well, that's because Anthony, you have home Wi-Fi. Dan and I both have studio Wi-Fi, and studio Wi-Fi is not good.
I'm gonna watch this back afterwards to get all the high definition things. Yeah.
I have Google Fiber running to my house with 2 terabytes worth of download speeds.
Jeez. It's all right for you guys over there, isn't it? Jeez.
Yeah, good old.
I don't have fiber. I have fiber at my apartment. But I don't have fiber in the studio. But the places that I'm looking at moving after this, they all have fiber. So.
Well, this is much better than our first interview together. I'll never forget that. I got Bailey. It's every other word. So he has moved up progressively since the first time we talked.
Also, hang on. Can I flag how Anthony and I both just said that we have fiber, and then Dan says he only has. Dan, fiber is Wi-Fi still, buddy. You don't have to have it wired. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, no, but I don't think that I've got good Wi-Fi. I didn't set it up, to be honest, so I don't know. Can I give my favorite Star Wars film because it's a controversial opinion?
Oh.
So Bailey's getting a call.
Hold on. Let's stop.
I'm using Sorry Can't Talk right now on my phone. I just silenced it.
I'm going to say my favorite is The Last Jedi, and no one can do anything about it. So
I have no quirks about that one whatsoever.
Because I think it was just about to take the series in quite an interesting direction, and then they thought, forget it, let's do a crappy film to end everything. So The Last Jedi, for me, is a series high point in a modern way, because the older films, I never quite had the nostalgia for them. Whilst the modern ones, like I watched them as a fan, as an adult. And the Last Jedi just hit a lot of great notes. Aesthetics, where it was going with the plot, just really good. And I know a lot of people hate that film, but a lot of people also love it. So, there you go.
All right. Well,
what about you, Tony?
Rogue One. I love Rogue One because everybody dies at the end. So
good film.
Very, very good. Rogue One is my favorite franchise. I would very much give that high rankings.
Franchise of one film. but it's up there. Yeah, Rogue One, fantastic film. I always forget about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Rogue One was.
It was when they would. It's when they were trying. They were like, we're going to do a mainline film and then a spin-off, mainline film spin-off, and of course Solo came out and they went, holy shit, maybe we're not going to do this. Like, this isn't really working out for us.
I think at the studios, I was in the room for that. They said, hold on, guys. This movie's tanking. We need to fucking rethink our situation here. Because that movie was...
Is everyone in the movie business Southern to you?
They're all oil tycoons as well.
Right. Oh, hold on there, guys.
Oh, okay.
Put a cap on it.
Will you wait 1 minute? I do not think that this is a good idea. I will tell you what.
That's right.
Exactly.
See, Rogue One,
guys, I'll be honest. That's all I hear on the other end right now.
That's right. We're all cowboys.
That's all it is.
Well, you gotta think
Dan, all I hear on that end is T, crumpets, walking my dog outside.
I don't like tea. I don't drink tea, actually.
Yeah, Bailey, he said that in like every episode you bring that up on, you don't ever listen. You're more concerned about and everything else.
Then all I hear over there is a spot of coffee. A spot of coffee.
I don't really drink coffee either.
Oh my god!
And actually,
nice bottle of water.
The last episode, he fucking said he didn't drink coffee either. You don't listen for shit, Bailey.
No!
Get off your phone. You millennials, you just always...
It was a real estate call! Oh my goodness gracious.
Are you a millennial? I don't know what millennials are.
No. Anthony's closer to a millennial than I am.
What are you, a zillennial or something?
I'm a Gen Z, yeah.
No, he's what we call a fucking schmuck.
A tween. No, you're a tween. There you go.
A tween. That's right.
Gen Z is my favorite franchise.
He's a tween. You will forever be known as a tween. I'm actually changing your name in my phone to Tween Boy.
Okay. Hey,
Tweeny boy.
okay. I would like to bring this back. What are the movies that you guys are excited about that have yet to come out? Or media that you're excited about?
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, and I can't wait past Friday.
The Boys season 3. I'm quite looking forward to that.
Is that coming out this year?
Yeah, it should be. It's been nearly 2 years.
Cool.
I mean, obviously Avatar 2.
Yeah.
What else is there? See, my memory's so bad. Unless you put it in front of me.
Kenobi comes out on the 27th.
That's going to be good. Yeah. Why didn't that come out today? They really missed a trick.
It was supposed to come out this week, but then it was supposed to come out this week, and then they were like, "Sorry guys, we need more time to finish it." But to say we're sorry, we're going to premiere both the first and the second episode at the same time.
Also,
Halloween
Moon Knight
Ends,
and Doctor Strange.
Nope.
Yeah.
The new Jurassic Park, Shazam, the new Thor, Firestarter.
Yep. All good. Yeah.
The new Minions movie.
I'm very excited about Nope.
Yeah, Nope's gonna be amazing. Super Pets. Secret Headquarters comes out at the end of the year. The Devil's Light. Very excited about that one.
It's the Devil's Light.
Devil's Light is in the Conjuring world.
Oh, okay.
And then
do you know what? The first film you said, I was just going to say, Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
I thought Halloween Kills. I thought was a very disappointing film. Like, very kind of missed the point of what it was trying to do. I thought.
I haven't seen any of the Halloween movies other than the original Halloween.
The new Halloween 2018, good. Halloween Kills, bad. Halloween Ends, who knows?
We don't know.
Apparently it's gonna involve COVID-19.
No.
In the storyline.
Damn, Michael Myers is gonna die of COVID.
Maybe. Actually,
Michael Myers is the reason COVID exists. He took off his mask and all the germs behind the mask spread it out into the world and caused mass chaos of COVID-19.
That mask.
Fuck you, Michael Myers.
Will stink.
Oh yes. And then last movie I'm very excited about, Bullet Train.
Yes! Very, very excited about Bullet Train.
Is that the one that looks like John Wick on a train?
Yes.
Kind of. It reminds me. It feels a lot like a Guy Ritchie movie, and I feel like that's why I'm very excited about it.
Who's the main guy?
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. That's it.
Whoa!
To me,
you just
that
rhymed.
looks like what?
You just
They
rhymed.
said Brad Pitt. That's it.
Oh, right.
Amazing. That was great.
Right. So, to me, Bullet Train. I remember watching the trailer and going, "Oh, sorry, that's just my phone. Sorry."
See, at least I silenced my phone.
Yeah, I to be honest, it's on Do Not Disturb, but that didn't work apparently. So, to me, Bullet Train, I thought that looked like perhaps the end of what we can do with John Wick style action films. Like they've got a true movie star, and I was sort of like, maybe this is it now. Maybe we just give that sort of action a break for a while, because they're really fun. But there's been quite a few of them in the last few years. There was one I watched recently. Is it called Kate? I think on Netflix. Do you know this film?
Yes.
And
what was the movie with Bob Odenkirk?
Yeah, and that one, Nobody. Yeah, like
that was. I really enjoyed that.
That was good.
But that's the point. They're really good. They're really good. And Gunpowder Milkshake as well. That was another one.
Oh
and
yes, Gunpowder Milkshake was really fun.
They're all really fun, but they're all kind of exactly the same. And this one, just to me, is sort of like, it's the same thing, but it's on a train.
So here's my thought on that. They are all the same movie, but I think that these movies have become such kind of like a mainline entry in terms of a genre that they can now differ in style. And I think that's where each movie is going to have its own kind of like thing, just because Gunpowder Milkshake, incredibly stylized. Mr. Nobody, incredibly stylized in a different way. John Wick has its own style. Bullet Train seems like it's going to be like a very fun, almost like satirical, like John Wick action movie.
I think so, yeah.
That I'm very excited to see how they go with it.
I have no doubt I'm going to enjoy it. I just sort of, there's a little bit of fatigue there. A little bit of fatigue.
Yeah, I get it.
Same.
Well, I get it.
Yep. All right.
Well, we're at
the end of our list now?
I think so.
We've done it.
I think we're at the end of the list.
Yeah. Oh, a movie that I'm not excited about is the new Top Gun remake.
Yeah, could care less.
Yeah. Well, it's not a remake; it's a sequel.
Sequel.
So
well, yeah.
Finally, you can see what he's been up to all these years.
Well,
I've literally lost sleep wondering
where he is. Well,
what?
You know, there's a rumor that hit online today. You know, for the last couple of months, the rumor has been that Tom Cruise makes an appearance in the Marvel movie coming up as Iron Man in the world.
Yeah.
But
as Anthony Stark, not Tony Stark.
But we're hearing.
I kind of hope it's true.
but the rumor is that it is not Tom Cruise, and that picture, because it looks like Tom Cruise, it wasn't. It was actually our favorite uncle in the world, Uncle Jesse, John Stamos. And it does make sense because he's got a massive contract with Disney right now, as he is signed on for one thing. So is Uncle Jesse the new Iron Man? We will have to find out.
I mean, I think that's. I imagine the next time we meet, we'll be discussing this film in quite a lot of depth, and Bailey's going to have a lot of thoughts about what happened in the cartoon beforehand.
Hold on. See, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do
another movie
thing and go there, and he's going to be like, "This is my favorite franchise of all time." And when I read in depth in comic book point 127, page 12, the exact same thing happened, but they changed it a little bit to do this. And I'll be like, oh, God, here he goes on his fucking rant about all this shit, about how it's his favorite, everything's so good, and the world's so great. Anyway,
But now you've got the power to change it. You can change the future.
One more movie that I'm incredibly excited about that's coming out this year is the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
I think it's time to wrap up now, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, fucking right. Holy Christ. All right, Fast and Furious. All right. Looking at our calendar. For the upcoming month, we have, I'd like to talk to Doctor Strange sooner rather than later. How does everybody look for, do you don't celebrate Memorial Day over by you, do you, Dan? Is that a thing?
I don't even know what that is. I mean, I do know what it is, but I don't.
Anthony, is there going to be an embargo on talking about Doctor Strange like there was for Spider-Man?
That's true.
That's why I'm doing the 3-week thing. So that's why I'm looking. Do we want to talk on May 30th, that Monday, and I can promote it as of today for Doctor Strange and the future of Marvel as our next 3 Pints of Pop.
Sure.
I think so.
Okay. There it is.
Sounds great.
That's it. So the next episode of 3 Pints of Pop will be on May 30th, and we'll be discussing the state of Marvel and the state of Doctor Strange and the multitudes of madness, or as Bailey says, Doctor Strange and Mom, because he can't say everything, all the words.
I just think it's so funny, Doctor Strange and Mom.
And also, everyone out there, Dan Mumford makes amazing art prints, as seen right here as I framed up. Big shout out to the love of this, one of my new favorite prints in my house, because he does great work. And how surprised I was when I went to the concert and got this print. And I'm gonna put this right next to
I've not even seen it yet.
Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful.
Absolutely stunning. I've not seen them in person. Yeah.
Well.
And then Dan and I in 2021 worked on a collaboration together, and that is finally coming out this summer.
What's the date on that?
I don't know. Sometime this summer.
I'm just looking at it now. I've got it right here. What's the date?
Is it like half a print that you did and half a print that Dan did? Or is it like all together?
The full.
So my question is because if I was to put it up on the wall and just wanted to show Dan's half, would I be able to cut your half out?
Oh, hello.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Wait, yeah. What happened?
Ground control to Major Tony. Oh, there he is. Okay.
Yeah. What I said was, is the print where it's half your work and half his, like if I was to put it up on the wall and frame it up so that I just saw your half, Dan, and not Bailey's, would that be possible?
Unfortunately not, because it's a horizontal slice, basically. This one.
Yeah, and we also, Dan has elements in my half, and I have elements in his half. So
you could have it sort of up quite high, because mine's the bottom part. You could do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Stop
cool.
instigating, Dan. Anyways, so yeah, so we have our collaboration coming out, and Dan and I have also been kind of talking about maybe another collaboration at some point as well. I don't know. Dan and I somehow work really easily together in terms of a collaborative project. So we will see if that comes to anything else.
Yeah. I'm glad. But this thing we worked on, together was like a long time ago now. So
yeah, almost a full year. But it was what, a 9-color screen print?
I think
or something, something along those lines, like a 9 or 10 color screen print.
Yeah,
so
I think it was
very exciting. The prints look really kind of like insanely gorgeous in person, just because Dan and I both received our copies a long time ago. Yeah. So
finally, they're going to get out there. That'd be good.
Well, I can't wait to see it. Well, guys, listen, this was fun as we ramble on through these movies and pop culture, and as we figure out the system, how this is going to be played out as we go forward to organize this so it's a little more wrapped up. And also so we don't have to hear Bailey talk about how every movie franchise is his favorite. So until next time, I am Anthony Krysiewicz. That is Bailey Race. That is Dan Mumford. They have prints on their website. Go support them. They are poor, and we appreciate you. Until next time, thanks for tuning in.
I think this is my new favorite franchise.
What is this music?
It's Shrunk People.